Alright, so today we're going to be doing the build of that new hop-up kit that we got from Asiatees, the SP2 Combo 1. So it's going on the sprint, so we're going to get rid of the body and get started on the dismantle. So it's the first time I've ever done anything too big on the sprint other than change rear belt. So this is going to be a learning progress for myself, so it might be a little bit slow in the development. So I'm going to get rid of the tires. And now I'm going to get rid of the bumpers. So 2 screws gets rid of that front bumper piece. And the shock. So just snap the front piece left or right, and it just pops right off the ball end. The rear one proved to be a little bit difficult because of the body mount. But after I made my way around, we were fine here. Same on the opposite side. Alright. So now, get rid of all the little ball ends. So snap those off. Get rid of the dog bones. Same for the front, as well as the steering links. Get rid of those dog bones. Alright, so now you need to pop off the C-clip on the inside of the A-arm. 2 more screws, I guess. I totally forgot. I need to remove that front plate before we can get out of that, get the hinges out. So 4 screws in total gets that off. E-clip on the other side of the A-arm. And now just pulling the orange bracket and everything comes off. A-arms are gone. Same for the rear. A little bit more difficult though because of the placement of the motor and the spur. But pop off those 2 E-clips. 2 screws holding that retainer piece. 2 more at the bottom, which is holding the little rubber mounting piece. And here, just pull back. Mine here is a little bit stiff. It's been sitting there for about 2 years. And the A-arms just dropped as well. Just take a look at our parts here, see what we need to get at. And the last piece is going to be the steering bell crank. Alright, so clean up our spot. Alright, so 2 screws at the top and give us enough play with the upper plate to be able to move everything out. 2 more screws at the bottom. This one here, I needed to use the pliers to hold on to the post. Again, like I said, it's been sitting for a while, so it was stiff. So now the bell crank is free. Pull out a spot, and we're good to go. So this, so I don't change any of my steering and have to realign everything. We're going to try to dismantle this and reassemble the exact same way. So we have a C-clip of the servo saver and everything should come apart here. Alright, so it's out. Remove the post and reassemble with the GPM aluminum one. Line ourselves up here, make sure that we're pointed in the right direction. And we are. So just reassemble and you're good to go. Now the opposite side, we got a C-clip, pop that off. And this one here, the post should just fall out. And it did. So now you remove the 2 bearings, reinsert into the aluminum GPM arm. Reinsert the post. And now for the easy stuff. So we're just going to snap off the steering links. Again, as always, making sure we're in the right direction. And now to get the ball end stud. Given that now we're going aluminum, and make sure to thread lock all that. Same thing on the other one. Alright, starting to come together here. So another ball end. Now the last side. So you have 2 ball ends going into that. This one here, for some reason, the driver wasn't grabbing onto it, so I had to use the pliers. Right. Alright, mouse calculation. 2 more. Forgot that the servo saver side has an extra ball end going to the servo. Alright. One more for the steering link that's going directly to the steering knuckle. Alright, so that piece is done. I think that's probably going to be the hardest part of the build. So now we're just going to reassemble, lift the top plate, and just line up the bottom of the post with a countersunk screw. Snug everything up. And the same for the opposite side here. Alright, so that's going to finish off the steering belt crank and servo saver assembly. Snap the arm back to the servo. And we're done. Alright, so back to the straight up reassembly here. No calculations involved in this. Alright, so you got the rear A-arms, hinge pin, and the C-clips, and bearings. Almost forgot that, but we're going to be installing new bearings in the rear hubs. Just going to reinsert those there. Making sure we got the right direction here, so they're marked left and right. Get a short hinge pin, snap on one C-clip to one side, line the hub through the A-arm, push through, and finish it off with a C-clip on the opposite side. Make sure everything moves nice and free. And I'm just going to dry fit the CVD here. I'm not going to install that till later, but make sure that everything is rolling smooth. And same with the longer hinge pin. I'm going to add the E-clip on there. Line up our A-arm and the rear bracket. Push the hinge pin through. And all we have to do is reinsert the C-clip on the inside, which is tough here. Sorry about that. Trying to get it in shot. It's hard. Trying to wiggle it through. All right, so we're in place. And now I'm going to add the CVD. Make sure it's into the diff cup. Now the ball end for the top. Thread lock. Alright, so we're going to snap that back into place. Nice and free. And that's the main thing. Make sure that it's smooth, because if not, it's really going to affect the performance. So here we're going to insert the ball end. Didn't even notice this has a hex slot in the back of it, so you don't need the wrench. And now just snap the shock back. And the rear is done. I'm going to finish the other side off camera. For now, we're going to move up to the front. Alright, so last parts bags here. So I have the front casters, steering knuckles, A-arms, and finally the CVD. Alright, so make sure we know how things fit before we start assembly. So just like the rear, the hinge pin, C-clip. Now ready to push that through the A-arm and the caster. The C-clip on the opposite side. Alright, so get out all the hardware here. So bearings in the steering knuckle, CVD. Line themselves up. And then for the top of that caster, I'm going to be using a ball end to hold that together, and underneath it's just going to be the stock Phillips that I had from the original A-arm. Alright, thread lock, and we're good there. Same for the top with the ball end. Nice and smooth, no binding. Nice to find those things now before you're too far along on the build. Alright, so now we're just going to put the ride height set screw flush with the A-arm as it was into the stock one. It's a lot easier to do that now versus once it's on the chassis. So the hinge pin, sorry, I'm going to tighten everything up with the ball ends first. Keep everything nice and snug until we can get the hinge pin in place. So I'm going to put that E-clip on the end of the hinge pin. Add the retainer. Push the hinge pin through. And the big work is done. So the E-clip on the back. That one was tough to get at. Alright. Finally got it. And now the arm going to the steering bell crank. Shock. Almost forgot the ball instead. Have to add that, and again I'm just using the same positioning as the stock one. I was happy with that setup. Alright, so I'm going to finish the other side and be back. Alright, so that's the final product. Everything's installed. Great looking parts. Everything is smooth. No issues with any fitment at all. And very straightforward build. So this package was $79.99. I think it would depend on coloring. If I'm not mistaken, I think the black aluminum set was only $71. But check them out, Asiatees, very fair prices. Happy with the shipping. Honestly, I've been hearing, I've heard a couple complaints so far about the shipping, but that's far from being one of mine. My last order I had with the Wraith was I paid for 2-day shipping, which was $20 on that large order that I had. Got it 2 days over the Christmas rush, so I was pumped about that. And for this one here, paid for the 4-day shipping. Got it in 4 days, so can't complain. Very happy with all their products. Should be doing another unboxing and review, something from them soon. So guys, thanks for watching. Please thumbs up and subscribe.